Hello everyone, and welcome to my UK Royal Family News channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. King Charles and Camilla sob as they achieve their first ever victory at Royal Ascot. Following Queen Elizabeth's example, the King and Queen are required to attend each day of the yearly event. On Thursday, King Charles and Queen Camilla won their first race at Royal Ascot, and they were overtaken with emotion when their horse crossed the finish line. The King and Queen watched from the royal box as Tom Marquand rode Desert Wind to victory in the King George V Stakes. Charles appeared obviously moved when he claimed his first victory, hoping to emulate his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, who amassed over 24 victories at the event during her reign. As the horse neared the finish line, photos of him in an open-mouthed position and in tears were taken. As the mare ran down the last stretch, Camilla was just as excited, cheering and making worried faces. The late Queen was a frequent visitor to Ascot and was known for her love of horses. She delighted people by dressing brightly so she could be seen at all times. Many of her horses were given to Charles and Camilla after her death, and the King reportedly received 37 racehorses, which were sold for about £1 million. Zara Tindall, Charles' niece, described the first victory as a bittersweet occasion following the passing of Queen Elizabeth last year. "It's bittersweet to imagine how happy and pleased the Queen would have been," she said after the marathon, "to produce a victor for Charles and Camilla and maintain their dream. And what a race, on top of everything else." Regarding their participation in the yearly event, Zara added, "It's a new enthusiasm. Like all those owners who come here and have a horse here, having that dream, that hope, and then fulfilling it is incredible." William Haggis, the Royals trainer, continued, "They're over the moon. They have been anticipating Ascot for a very long time since the King and Queen must like it, and it is crucial for horse racing." But despite all the enthusiasm, the King later in the day unintentionally knocked over the victory trophy, so it wasn't all plain sailing for him. The Duke of Kent, a relative of Queen Elizabeth, gave the couple the trophy. Later, when giving racing star Frankie Dettori his 10th Gold Cup title, the King had a part to play. The 52-year-old Italian who will retire later this year was presented with the renowned trophy by King Charles and Queen Camilla, and he even gave the latter a cheek kiss. The affinity with horses that Camilla alluded to was shared by Queen Elizabeth II and the Queen Mother. Yesterday's opening day of Royal Ascot saw Charles and Camilla attend for the first time as the King and Queen. Along with a planned photo exhibit honoring Queen Elizabeth II at the racetrack, Camilla also paid tribute to her late mother-in-law's legacy by wearing a silver brooch. Yesterday at Royal Ascot, Queen Camilla looked stunning in all white, donning a calf-length coat dress and matching shoes and accessories. In keeping with her personal taste, the 75-year-old chose silvery jewelry, including a bold necklace, earrings, and a sentimental brooch to complement her adorned attire. The last person to wear the emotional pin made of scallop shell was Queen Elizabeth II, who received it from her mother. The scallop shell brooch, also known as the Courtauld-Thompson scallop shell brooch, has a single round pearl in the center and a shell motif covered in diamonds with 5 graded tassels. The court jeweler states that the brooch was created in 1919 in London by the goldsmiths and silversmiths Colt, and Queen Elizabeth II and the Queen Mother both had a strong affection for it. Winifred Hope Thompson, the sister of fashion designer Lord Courtauld-Thompson, gave the relic to the Queen Mother. Since it became a regal diamond, Camilla's late mother-in-law and her mother have worn it on a number of memorable occasions, one of the most important being the Queen Mother's 100th birthday in 2000. After her mother passed away later in 2002, Queen Elizabeth II adopted the brooch and began wearing it. The brooch was also styled by the late Queen for the 2019 Royal Ascot. Camilla's choice to wear it to her first Royal Ascot as Queen Consort was significant for 2 reasons. It is now well recognized as a jewel that signifies extraordinary occasions, not the least of which was to honor both the Queen Mother, who also had a love of horses, and her late mother-in-law. The Queen Mother shared a lifetime affinity with horses, with Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Anne. She was an avid horse racing fan, who even became the first female of national hunt racing, according to a livery list directory specialist. When the Queen Mother began to stay at Windsor Castle during Royal Ascot in the early 1950s, her passion for horses was ignited. She eventually caught the racing bug, particularly after forming a friendship with Major Peter Cazalet, a trainer who recorded numerous victories during an excellent career in the sport. A specialist at the livery list revealed, the Queen Mother had a successful relationship with horses and horse racing, as evidenced by her 457 triumphs. They continued. She not only adored the sport, but her connection to horses was also clear. Contrary to Princess Anne and her daughter Zara Tindall, Charles and Camilla may not have the same intense passion for horses or racing, but the brooch may have been the Queen Consort's subtle way of expressing her enthusiasm. Camilla was able to honor Charles's mother in the same way as Queen Elizabeth did when she wore the jewel as an homage to her own mother. After riding King Charles' horse in the Royal Ascot event, Frankie Dettori was disqualified. After being suspended, Frankie Dettori missed one of the most important races of his last season. Frankie Dettori was given a 9-day penalty at Royal Ascot, which will prevent him from competing in one of the most important events of his final season in the sport. On the first day of the Wolferton Stakes, the jockey rode King Charles's horse Saga, but his behavior during the race did not go over well. He was penalized for reckless riding and will no longer be able to face off against the 9-4 favorite Emily Upjohn in the Coral Eclipse Stakes at Sandown, after it was claimed that he was responsible for a rival horse on Tuesday being severely unbalanced. Dettori's punishment will stretch from July 4 to July 12 because the Sandown Classic falls in that time frame, but the 52-year-old will be permitted to compete in the July Cup, the only Group 1 race in his illustrious career that he has yet to win. The restriction will finish the day before the 3-day Newmarket Festival. Dettori was found to have cut inside in the early stages of the listed race on Tuesday, forcing Cadillac's James McDonald to take a significant check. As a result, certain lads Ben Curtis also had to take a significant check, and Notre Belle Bet had to be steadied by David Probert. The penalty came to symbolize a bad day for retired Dettori, who ran 5 races on his debut day at the Royal Festival, but finished second 3 times. His day did not get any better after the initial race, in which 33-1 Triple Time defeated him by a neck. He also had another prospective mount pulled. Dettori announced in December that this would be his last racing season before retiring. He said to ITV, "I've been thinking about it for a while. This will be my last speech the following year. I'm riding Boxing Day in Santa Anita and intend to stay there for roughly 10 weeks after that. I'll then travel back, stopping in Dubai and Saudi Arabia along the way, to begin the season in Newmarket. It will be my final Derby, Royal Ascot and Guineas, among other events, and I'll be riding through them all. I'll say my last goodbyes at the Breeders' Cup after that. I have to use my head since I recently turned 52, and I'll be 53 next year. My heart wants to keep riding, but I have to use my head. Next year, I want to be competitive enough to honor my owners and my horses, and I still consider myself to be in that good of a category. Although challenging, now is the appropriate time. Thanks for watching if you like this video. So please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.